So in today's video, we'll be taking a look at 10 Pokemon hot takes by me. We'll start at 10% and go to 100%. 10% will be a take that I think most Pokemon fans will agree with, and 100% will be a god-awful take that I'm probably the only one who agrees with. I personally believe everything I put on this list. I'm not giving out false content, I do believe in these takes that I'm about to share with you. But do remember, it is a hot take video. If you disagree with something, that just means I'm providing you quality content because these are supposed to be, hot takes. You shouldn't agree with everything. Everybody has their own opinions. And I decided not to choose the boring, popular takes that everyone says. Before we get into this, though, I made this list on my TikTok and you should definitely go check it out. Link is in my bio and in the description of this video. So on there, I just post a lot of my Pokemon opinions, and later, I want to post some more, maybe Elden Ring content on there, but for now, it's mostly Pokemon focused. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel. Let's get into my top 10 Pokemon hot takes. So here is the video, my Pokemon hot takes. I posted it on TikTok. Here's some comments. We'll go over the comments later, but right now, let's just focus on my hot takes and I'll explain each one. So, put a little disclaimer here. Remember, these are my opinions, If you get upset, it just means I'm providing real hot takes. I'm trying to provide good content. 10%. Aggron should have been a pseudo-legendary. Aggron definitely has the pseudo-legendary design, but for some reason, it does not have a base stat total of 600, and that kind of ruins it. But Aggron definitely should be a pseudo-legendary in my opinion. Just look at it. 20%. The Hoenn starter trio is by far the best. I think this is a perfect starter trio because you got Torchic into Blaziken, I don't want to go over all the evolutions and stuff, but I can't find a single one of them that I don't like. Subtile is my favorite, and they also get Mega Evolutions. All the Mega Evolutions are perfect too. I think Hoenn is like the most well-rounded starter trio. Obviously, Swampert is the best in the games because it can just blow through everything, but none of them suck. None of them suck at all. I respect anybody if your favorite starter is any of these three, Mine is Sceptile, but if you like those two, I completely understand it. 30%, Skeledirge is a 10 out of 10 fire starter. At first, when I was playing with Fuecoco, because I started Pokemon Scarlet with the Fuecoco line, it was okay. Crocalor was better than Fuecoco in my opinion. I don't tend to like the middle stage evolutions, but Crocalor was kind of funny to me. But when it evolved into Skeledirge, bro, my starter became a beast. It has its own signature move, Torch Song, and I don't really like the fact that the signature moves are so overpowered in this game for starters. But at the same time, I get to launch off a fire stab attack and then get a special attack buff. I honestly love that move, especially when I'm in the Terra raids. Skeledirge, to me, is a 10 out of 10 fire starter. And it's like the only bipedal one, or non-bipedal one or something, which is cool. 40%, Mewtwo and Mew are the perfect example / guidelines for legendaries and mythicals. At the beginning of the video, I said I wasn't gonna focus too hard on the comments, but there was a comment already that I just want to bring up because it's about this take, saying that legendary Pokemon should not be man-made like Mewtwo. That's not what I'm getting at. When you catch Mewtwo for the very first time, it truly feels like a legendary. But when you get Koraidon or Miraidon, it just doesn't feel super special or anything. You spent your whole journey with them and they don't really feel like legendaries. And I guess in a way they're not really legendaries because they have legendary stats, and yes, they're considered legendaries, but lore-wise, they're just paradox forms. Mew is the perfect example of a mythical. In Mew's case, it's super hard to get, and not every mythical needs to be super hard to get, but I'm trying to get at the fact that when you get Mew, it's not as strong as Mewtwo, but it feels special in its own way. 50%, Inteleon is the worst starter of all time. This one got a lot of people mad. I didn't think it would. Inteleon, something about its design, oh my goodness, I just can't do it. I met a few Inteleon fans in the comments, but it's just, I don't know how you can like this thing. If you do like it, that's completely fine. You know, I'm not dogging on the Intellion fans, but I never liked it, and I didn't realize there were so many Intellion fans. So this was a pretty hot take for a lot of people. 60%. The only perfect starter trios are Kanto, Hoenn, Unova, Kalos, and Alola. This one also got a lot of people mad. Most people were saying that Unova and Kalos are not perfect starter trios. Some people were saying Alola wasn't a perfect starter trio. Most people agreed that Kanto and Hoenn are. The biggest issue with this hot take was that I did not include Sinnoh, and we'll see why in a later hot take slide. I did make a video ranking all the starter trios, which you should definitely go check that out. Like I said, TikTok in the description. But I honestly stand by it. I'll just show you my top 5. I got Hoenn at number 1, interchangeable with Kanto. Then I have Alola, Kalos, and Unova. A lot of people were saying they didn't like Unova because of Tepig and Kalos because of Chespin's line. But I love both of those lines. Anyway, let's move on to the next hot take. 70%. Gallade and Gardevoir have by far the best Megas and Shinies ever. This one is extremely opinion based, obviously. But I found this picture online and I really had to post because it looks so cool. Like Gardevoir's Mega looks really cool, Gallade's Mega looks really cool, and then you put Shinies on it's just so peak. When Legends ZA releases, I'm definitely shiny hunting a Gallade so I can Mega Evolve it. But this one is 100% opinion based. A lot of people are saying, oh, Rayquaza is better, or the chicken Blaziken is better, and that's completely fine. I can understand those takes. This one was just my personal take. 80%. Dragonite is a disappointing evolution for Dragonair. I don't hate Dragonite though. See, look at Dragonair right here. A serpent-like thingy. Yeah. Serpent-like thingy dragon. Really like its design. It's just so good. And I used it on my Pokemon Let's Go team because I loved it so much, but I've always kind of not liked Dragonite. Now, don't get me wrong. Dragonite's actually a really lovable Pokemon. Like, I don't hate it, right? But it always felt like kind of an off-brand Charizard, and Charizard's my favorite Pokemon of all time. So, that's kind of where the Dragonite, not hate, but disliking it a little bit comes from. It's round, it looks kind of not scary, and as a pseudo-legendary, I feel like it should look more intimidating. Now, there's a comment right here. Dratini Evoline is based off of a myth that a serpent holding pearls and turning into a dragon. I forget the details about it, but it makes sense. I obviously had to say, oh, thanks for letting me know. But that does make sense. I still think we should get like an alternate evolution so that you can still have the lore of Dragonair turning into Dragonite with the pearl thing. But I also just want a more snake-like wyvern dragon. So split evolution is one of the things that I really want for Dragonair, seeing as it's like one of my favorite Pokemon, and the only part that ruins it for me is Dragonite. This might be the hottest take of the whole video, according to these comments. 90%. The Sinnoh starters are the second worst starter trio. The worst is Galar. Now, I have siblings. Me and my siblings, we've been talking about starter trios, and we all agreed that Sinnoh kind of sucks. Now, Sinnoh is loved by a lot of people because of their nostalgia for the original games. But let me make this clear. I never played the original games. I played the remakes, and I played Legends Arceus. And it says that on the last slide that I played the remakes, because it's kind of supposed to give some context to this, right? I know a lot of people love these starters. And honestly, looking at the Legends Arceus style, they all look pretty cool. But I never used them in Legends Arceus. So my opinion of them right now is that they kind of suck. But I do want to play Pokemon Platinum one day because I heard that's the best one. And if I like them in that game, then my opinion will obviously be shifted. Currently, though, I don't really like them. Obviously, I absolutely love Infernape, but its first 2 stages are straight garbage. Piplup is goated. Honestly, I used to think Empoleon sucked until I see this picture. Like, I really like how it looks in Legends Arceus, but Piplup is terrible. Empoleon is terrible in BDSP. Torterra's first 2 stages suck. Torterra is really cool though. And now, 100%, Charizard isn't overrated, he's underrated. If I'm being honest, this is the whole reason I made the video. I wanted to do my Charizard hot take. When I post on TikTok, it's very different from posting on YouTube, because I feel like the audiences, while there is some intermingling, it's pretty different. Most people on TikTok love calling Charizard overrated, and a lot of people on YouTube, when I made my Charizard video, said that they love Charizard, so it's pretty different. Charizard has been overhated so much that it's become underrated. I personally believe that it's a very small yet vocal minority of people who hate Charizard. They say he's overrated so much now that he's severely underrated. A lot of your favorite Pokemon wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Charizard. More on the next slide. Alright, I had to go off here. The Pokemon Company wouldn't be near as successful and popular as it is today without Charizard. If your favorite Pokemon came after Gen 1, then you are lucky. They cooked so hard on this design. There are 1,000 plus Pokemon, so I can see why people would be upset if their favorite doesn't get anything, but Charizard does. That's because it's so popular. Popularity isn't a sign of being overrated, but the opposite. Popularity tends to mean something is good. Furthermore, I've never met a Pokemon fan in real life, non-casuals of course, who hate Charizard. It seems that only people online hate it. This leads me to believe that most Charizard haters are chronically online. Now, it's completely valid to dislike Charizard if you think the design sucks. I made a whole YouTube video on hating Charizard, by the way. You guys should go watch that. I'll put it in the description. And that's the end. Thanks for watching. Here's the bonus take. BDSP I probably shouldn't say that on YouTube. So BDSP messed up Sinnoh for a lot of people experiencing it for the first time. Me. Yeah, no, so the reason I hate the Sinnoh starters so much is mostly because of BDSP. I never got to see them in their quote-unquote full glory, so BDSP was kind of like my only way to start with them and try to like feel good about those Pokemon, and BDSP sucked, so by proxy, the Sinnoh starters kind of sucked for me. I'm not saying that they do suck overall, because like I said, I love some of their designs, but let's get to some of these comments though. You dead, just typing stuff. So, this got 63 likes. A lot of people agree with this guy. You know, so I had to respond to it. I said, I'm hearing you want some lukewarm takes, and you didn't like the fact that I accomplished what I set out to do by making this video. Make hot takes. Am I not supposed to make hot takes? Like at the very beginning, correct me if I'm wrong, does this video not say hot takes? I don't know if I'm wrong here, but it looks like my Pokemon hot takes right here. Anyway, let's move on. I mean, I agree, I just find Charizard boring. That's completely fair. You shouldn't be forced to like or dislike something just because someone says so. That's why I love to speak out against the Charizard hate, but it's fine if you disagree and just don't like it. The last 4 are all misses except for the Charizard one. That's absolutely correct. Like I said, I low-key just made this entire post just to talk about Charizard because he's my favorite Pokemon of all time, and I really, really hate to see him get hated on. Sinnoh hate is insane. It is, isn't it? Yeah, you're just wrong though. I'm willing to take the L on that one, because I understand that I haven't played the good Sinnoh yet. This is a comment I love. After maturing, I realized I like all the starters. Playing so many games has made me use different Pokemon. Pokemon disliked by the water community were the reason I won important battles. This is cool. Everybody should be able to enjoy Pokemon, no matter what type of Pokemon it is, no matter if somebody calls it overrated or the community hates it. You should just be able to enjoy a fun game. Love the Charizard take, couldn't agree more. Charmander is my favorite Pokemon. The only thing I probably disagree with is 50% because I genuinely like Inteleon, but everything else was agreeable. This guy's just a hater. We don't listen to haters. There's 2 things that I really don't like on my TikTok. Charizard haters and Goodra lovers. I don't actually hate Goodra, but Goodra lovers, that's a different story. Oh, this one got like 10 replies. We ain't going over that. I don't know what happened. Unova being over Sinnoh is kind of crazy. So I responded, telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. Kanye West. Hit the nail on a lot of these, but don't agree with 60% and 80%. I'm biased, Dragonite is my favorite Pokemon, and 90%, in my opinion, Galar is the second worst under Paldea. Rillaboom is the only good one, design-wise. If you love Dragonite, I have literally nothing against you. I would love to have a split Evo for Dragonair. Then you can get either the lovable Dragonite or get a more serpent-like Pokemon. This is more on the Inteleon take. Some of these are 100% valid. I'd personally love to hear why you think Inteleon is the worst water starter. It's my favorite water starter. I personally just don't like its design. I'm pretty sure it's an actually good Pokemon when you use it, but that design is something I cannot get behind. My sisters love Inteleon, so it's not like I can't understand the Inteleon love. Bro has some good takes. I was gonna say something about Sinnoh starters, but then I swiped up to the last slide, and if BDSP was your first time playing through Gen 4, I understand. I was very disappointed with the Sinnoh remakes and felt older games were better. Thank you for sharing your takes. This was a very mature comment, because most people would just say, oh, never rate again, or you shouldn't have an opinion. And yes, these are real comments. Like, TikTok people are terrible. The internet is terrible in general, but TikTok comments are way worse than any YouTube comments I've ever got. I responded with, thank you for being one of the very few mature people in the comments. I appreciate it. Now, let's go to the best comment on this entire video. The greatest hate comment. Here we are. Inteleon slide makes me want to hurt you. These are the comments that I just have to deal with as a creator. So I said, you need help, bro. It's just a fictional game and anime series. It's not that serious. Please seek therapy. Because there's no reason somebody should be acting like this on the internet. Of course, I do understand that by posting stuff on the internet, I put myself into a situation where people can say this stuff to me. That doesn't make it right, though. I do understand this, and I do it willingly. I'm just saying that if you, watching this video, you can control yourself, and you should not be doing this. This is some really immature behavior. If this is an adult, that's really sad. I'm hoping this is just a kid. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, go check out that Charizard video because I cooked. That's it for today. See ya. Make sure to go check out my TikTok and sub to the channel.